storyline, rewritten with different character names. Julian was the anchor everyone held on to. In a town that constantly demanded more, he was the one who never said no, always providing, always steady, always there. If a neighbor was lost, Julian found the path. If a friend was drowning in life, he was the life raft. No matter how heavy the current felt against his own chest, his warmth filled every room, his composure offered a sanctuary, and his patience seemed to have no horizon. People often told him, "You're a saint for putting up with us." Julian would offer a humble shrug, as if it were nothing. But in the hollow spaces of his chest, it was everything, and a heavy void all at once. Because in a world full of people taking his hand, no one ever thought to check his pulse. His life followed a relentless loop. He poured himself into others until he was a dry well, then retreated to the suffocating stillness of his empty apartment. The shadows there asked for nothing, but they offered no comfort in return. And that quiet, it was a deafening roar compared to the gratitude of the day. Then during a midsummer transition, Elena returned. She had spent years away, navigating her own storms in distant cities. But when she walked back into the familiar streets, she saw the things the locals had become blind to. She saw Julian. She watched him navigate the crowds, wearing a smile like armor, weaving through conversations with effortless grace. But she also saw the fraying edges, the way his shoulders slumped when a back was turned, the hollow look in his eyes the second the spotlight moved elsewhere. She didn't interrupt his performance. She simply observed. Until one evening, she found him perched on a stone wall overlooking the darkening valley, his hands deep in his pockets. "You don't look like the pillar of the community right now," she remarked softly. Julian gave a tired, dry laugh. "I'm on a break from being a pillar." Elena leaned against the wall beside him. "Or maybe you're just finally being a person." The comment struck a nerve he didn't know was exposed. Julian wasn't used to people looking past the polished exterior he maintained for everyone else's comfort. The days that followed were filled with soft, unhurried talks. Elena didn't treat him like a solution to a problem. She didn't show up with a list of needs or a craving for advice. Instead, she offered him a rare gift, the permission to be still. She noticed when his yes was heavy with obligation. She noticed the slight tremor in his voice when he tried to be funny. She saw that his laughter was a reflex, not a feeling. And one Friday, after a week of carrying the weight of a dozen different lives, Julian's composure finally splintered. "I don't know how much longer I can carry it," he whispered, the honesty sounding like a confession. Elena didn't move to fix him. She just listened. "I'm exhausted," he confessed. "Exhausted from being the one everyone leans on. Exhausted from pretending I don't have my own gravity pulling me down." The admission felt dangerous, like a secret he had kept from himself for a decade. Elena moved closer, her presence grounding and certain. "You aren't required to be unbreakable," she said. Julian shook his head, looking at his hands. "It's the only version of me they want. Then maybe it's time you show them someone else." He looked up, searching her face. "The version that lets someone else be the anchor for once." That sentence shattered the last of his defenses. It wasn't a violent break. It was a release, like a dam finally letting the water through. For the first time, Julian allowed himself to be heavy. He let out the fatigue, the isolation, and the quiet resentment of being the world's designated giver. And for the first time, someone didn't leave once they realized he had nothing left to give. From that night on, the rhythm of his life shifted. It wasn't a total transformation, but it was a vital one. Elena checked in. She didn't ask, "How are you?" expecting a script. She asked the hard questions and waited out the silence until he told the truth. She pushed back when he tried to hide behind his usual, "I'm fine." And gradually, Julian began to internalize a truth he had long ignored. He was worthy of the same compassion he distributed so freely. The town still relied on him. He was still the dependable one, the strong one, the man who showed up. But the burden was no longer a solo act, because someone had finally decided to share the weight of his world. And in those late hours, when the town grew still and the expectations faded, Julian no longer felt like a hollow shell. He felt recognized. He felt held. And for the first time in a very long time, he felt like he didn't have to stand tall all by himself.